everybody. Dane Johnson here with Crohn's Colitis Lifestyle. I'm sitting with one of my good friends, one of my great friends, Anne Boroch, the pioneer of natural healing of multiple sclerosis.
Oh, thank you.
Woosah, my friend. Woosah. She's awesome. I mean, you had multiple sclerosis yourself, right?
I did, and put it to bed for 23 years now.
23 years. 23 years. You have, I mean, no symptoms, no
Yes.
drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, how, like anyone out there who's dealing with multiple sclerosis, I mean, how in the world did you get that far?
Well, it was 4 years of determination, and it really came down to doing an anti-candida diet, taking an antifungal drug, getting 15, 16 silver fillings out, working on emotional mental layers, and detoxification and supplementation.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you were doing this in a time where this wasn't even around.
There wasn't much information.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't give my age away.
Okay, you know, she was very young. Okay, very young. She was a determined 7-year-old, right? But okay. So I mean, 23 years you've been off the drugs, you've been in remission, and we're talking about a disease that is life debilitating. I mean, my sister's ex-boyfriend had this disease, and I got to witness a little bit of it. I mean, we're talking you lose the ability to walk, lose the ability to function. I mean, these are
Numbness, tingling, all kinds of things. All the symptoms, yeah.
Life-threatening stuff. This is some serious stuff, and autoimmune diseases in general. I mean, for me, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis when I was 22, 23 years old, and I started getting symptoms when I was 18. Again, for me, it took me 4 or 5 years to really bring natural medicine in. I went back to school for it, and I went through all the drugs, and I dropped to 120 pounds. I nearly died of it myself. I was on feeding tubes, chemotherapy. I took all the immunosuppressants, the immunomodulators. I was on prednisone for years, and I felt like there was no hope. And when I finally found natural medicine, it had opened up so many doors for me, and it was really when I put that first that I got my own healing experience. But it still took about a year of hard natural healing every single day and positive momentum to really get those results. So, I mean, what are some of the commonalities here we're seeing in autoimmune diseases?
Well, one is that we're dealing with over 50 million people have an autoimmune disease now, and they're having not just one, but they're having 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really escalated because the volume of environmental toxins, stress that's not managed, the genetically modified food organisms. So it really comes down to the nutrition, the environment, the stress, and then the infections, things like candida, viruses, parasites. And so we're really in a time where we need to become educated and very proactive, where we need to take personal accountability, and how can we start to make the steps to turn this around?
Yeah, and that's serious. It's showing that this isn't just genetic. Like, you're born with the symptoms of multiple sclerosis or Crohn's disease. It's almost like our culture and our earth and what we're doing and all the toxicities are doing it to ourselves. Our immune system is flaring up based on these things around us. So it's almost like the gut health and the eating organic, nutrient-dense foods and getting the proper rest and reducing stress and reducing inflammation. I mean, these are the things we need to do for all diseases. These are the things we need to do to really empower ourselves. So, I mean, if you're having any symptoms going on, like the bloating or the inflammation, or your doctors are telling you you've been diagnosed, you have an 80% of a chance to get another autoimmune disease.
Well, and so the thing is that we want to, give you the proactive things in which you can do, which is immediately focus on your gut. I think what we have both that we feel in alignment with is that that's really the root cause to most diseases that you're going to experience, particularly in autoimmune. And so for me, the focal point is, it's not about finding the right box that you fit into or the right diagnosis. It's being proactive to get rid of the inflammation immediately. And for me, it's focusing on the microbiome. We hear the microbiome, the balance of the bacteria in the body and the gut. And we also hear about leaky gut, but no one's talking about the microbiome, which is the fungal part of the body. And we all have yeast, male, female, child. Yes, males have it too. And so it lives there in 15%, hopefully, in that population in the gut, to the 85% good bacteria. But it's very easy to come out of balance because of antibiotics, steroids, birth control, hormone replacement, sugar, stress, alcohol. And then it only takes 1 dose of antibiotics in your lifetime to wipe out good bacteria, allow yeast to thrive, and then it's your sugar and stress levels that will keep feeding it through a lifetime. So I think the more that we focus on it, and unfortunately there's no great test for it.
Yeah.
And so people are walking around, I think it's a silent epidemic, and people don't even realize that they're dealing with this.
Yeah. Well said. I mean, it really is an epidemic we're dealing with right here, and everyone's having symptoms. I mean, I constantly hear people who haven't been diagnosed who are having this symptom or that symptom. So we can all learn a lot here. And what are some things we can do in our house? You know, for people watching who are relating with some of this stuff, what are some stuff they can do tonight in their house today that can really start reducing symptoms and kind of give them an edge and build that momentum?
I would say start with your food. Food is chemistry. If you put trash in, you're going to get trash out over time. So I'm an advocate of the anti-candida diet, which don't look at this as deprivation. I promise there's plenty of things to eat. That's why I did a cookbook. You get desserts, you get breads, you get all these cool things. But it's really taking things such as alcohol, which is liquid sugar, dairy, gluten, and sugars, and corn as well, because most of that it converts into sugar rapidly and it's genetically modified. So those are the things. If you just start with pulling like dairy and gluten for a month, you're going to see a change in your body. Then on that, the next month you can take the sugars out, the next month, etc. So food it's in your hands. You don't need a prescription for that. So that would be my first advice.
Okay.
And for you?
For me, I think really a shake a day. I found that when I started looking at how can I get a win-win-win scenario, how can I get something that's quick, I can run out the door and still get the work on time, that there's not a big cleanup, I can get something that's raw, something that's vegan, something that's organic, something that's nutrient dense, and something that's absorbable and gives the gut time to heal, it allows it to rest. You know, that's what a shake is. It's baby food.
Right.
You know, babies don't eat solid food for a reason. It gives them the time for their microbiome to grow as a baby needs, right? And their bacteria to grow, and that's what we need. So with the shake, you can really get a win-win-win scenario. So if you have questions about the shake I use every day to heal my Crohn's and colitis, you know, you can reach out to me. And you know, I'd also say that sleep is going to be the second biggest one. You know, sleep before midnight is twice as effective as sleep after. That's when our melatonin's the highest. That's when we get the highest amount of REM sleep. You know, and so someone who gets to bed from 10 to even 6 is going to be a lot better off than someone to bed from midnight to 11 a.m. And I'm sure you felt that way for those people who get to bed. So those two things, they won't cost you much. You can do them easy. You can do them today, and they will start to build positive momentum in your life. So, you know, if you have questions for me or Ann, please leave them below. We'd be happy to make another video and answer some more. And, you know, Ann, I'm so grateful to talk to you and know you. You've been a great mentor so far,
pleasure.
And you're an amazing soul. You're helping so many people.
Thank you.
If you want to get in touch with Ann, I mean, Ann, how are some ways people can get in touch with you?
Well, I've written 3 books. You can catch those on my website, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but I still do private consultations. So I do Skypes around the world. I also do in-office consultations in Manhattan. And for you too, what do you do?
Same. I do one-on-one consultations. I build personalized healing programs for people with Crohn's and colitis. And I think we both feel that that's so important to go right to the people and just work with people with different cultures, different varieties, different obstacles. It helps us grow. It's so fulfilling. And you can also see more on my email list, or you can read my ebook, 6 Tips to Healing Crohn's Colitis. So I'll leave her information, my information below. Leave your comments. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.